Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I went to CrimeCon this year, as you all know, and the very last session that I sat in on was a panel of victims' families. On that panel was Ethan Chapin's mother, Tara G. Patty, Susan Hendricks, and Yearly Love's mother, and Carrie Rollins, BTK's daughter. And I also got to meet Gabby Petito's father. And when I walked by him in particular, he was kind of standing off, and the CrimeCon raised a significant amount of funds for the Gabby Petito Foundation. And I went up to him and I said, I just wanted to shake your hand. I hate it that you were here. But at the same time, I'm glad for you being here and what you are doing for victims of domestic violence, because that is still at the top of the charts for murder victims, is domestic violence, domestic murder. And him and I, we got to talking, and you could tell that, like, I don't think anyone had said that to him yet, of like acknowledging the fact that I hate it that you have to be here, But he is. They are there, and they're there for a purpose of what do you do when your child is brutally, needlessly taken from this world? They have nothing left. No future, no prom, no, for the younger victims like Abby and Libby. But let me finish with Gabby's dad, and you could just tell that, like, it's like, wow, yeah, like, I hate it, I'm here too. I hate it, I'm here. But instead of crawling in a hole or wishing death upon myself, which is probably what I would be doing, he, his wife, their whole family said, no, we're going to get up and we're going to go and we're going to make this tragedy count for something. And they have. That foundation has already helped so many women. And we got to talking about, he had said to me, me and my wife, she's my partner. And just trying to grasp the understanding of these domestic abusers, right? And I said, that's the point. She's your partner. She's not your property. And he said, like, like, that's it, that's how they view them. But these families, so there's the first story. Ethan Chapin's mother. Ethan is a triplet, and he was an Idaho victim of Koberger. Um, and she was talking about how I think she said a couple weeks prior to his senseless, brutal murder, they had parents' weekend at the college there. And remember, they have three; they're triplets, and they've done the whole parents thing, and they're leaving that weekend, and they're in the car driving home, and sorry. It's hard for me because I'm at this same point with my daughter. My oldest daughter is about to graduate college. My youngest daughter just entered college. And it is just like, as a parent, you start out like a good parent starts out with the best of intentions of like, I am responsible for this child's life, and I don't want to screw that up, and I want them to be happy. I want them to be successful in multiple ways of what success is. I want them to be good people, people that care about other people, people that are strong and they know what they stand for. And that's why, it does affect me. And they are sitting in the car on their way home and they high five each other. We did it. We did it. Our kids are awesome. All the hard work we put in to helping them to become the best that they can be. We did it. They're awesome. We saw that this weekend. 2 weeks later, their son was murdered. And she talked about the little things. With triplets, like buying things for a present for Easter, Christmas presents. They bought everything in threes, 3 birthday cards, three gifts, everything was in threes. And she said it hits her the hardest when she goes to buy those things, and she's buying in twos now. And how she also talked about how that choice you make every morning, because I don't want to get up. I don't want to have to be this. I don't want to have to be here. I don't want to have to be the loved one of a murder victim. And but I have 2 kids to live for that deserve the best of us. And what can we do to honor our son? And they've started a foundation for just that. And then Miss Becky. This is because my oldest daughter is the exact same age. She was the same grade as Abby and Libby. And so every time I get to be there for graduation, the acceptance letter into college, the prom, the ups and downs, their good days, their bad days, their triumphs, the little things. And they don't have that anymore. They don't have
any more days. And for her, she did not want Libby to be forgotten. Libby would have made a mark on the world. She was an extraordinary little girl at such a young age. You can tell how wise, how loving, and happy and smart she was, and all that she would have got to do in this world was ripped away on February 13th of 2017. And what she did, instead of crawling into bed and just being overwhelmed at the loss, the whole family, she said, no, I want to do a park. Let's do a park so that no one ever forgets our girls. And that when they go there, they have something that remembers our girls, and that other children, other parents' children, get to enjoy and make memories with their children at that park. And that's really selfless. And that Abby and Libby's legacy will continue on through that park. Yearderly Love's mother, her daughter Yearderly was murdered by her college boyfriend. You know, all she did was try to break up with him. Well, and she had said, like, she just didn't understand, like, what? Like, that doesn't happen to college kids. They're not murdered by their boyfriends, you know? And she picked herself up instead of crawling in bed and never wanting to get out. She picked herself up and she created the One Love Foundation, which has been around for a long time, and it has helped so many victims so that her child is not forgotten, and they still by proxy get to make their mark on the world, just like Gabby Petito, just like Ethan Chapin, and all of the other parents that are heroes because they have made the choice to get up and help other people. That is what a hero truly is. These are the focus of why we are here in this true crime genre. Real crime. These are real people who have fought and are going through so much, and they are re-victimized over and over and over again. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. And the criticism and the hate and can you imagine your child? I think about those crime scene photos, and I think about my daughter laying there and what that must feel like to have the world view that as a spectacle. And you have all of these YouTubers, podcasters, news stations, media, and what has happened? Abby and Libby are in the background of their own murder. Now we're focusing on Richard Allen and his rights and his attorneys and corruption and who's doing what and who's the bad guy. And doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is like these little girls and their families. And I am so fucking fed up with the total disrespect of Abby and Libby, the total disrespect of their loved ones, their sisters, their brothers, their moms, their dads, their grandparents, their friends, just and I get it, like Richard Allen, he is innocent until proven guilty. But what the price is, it never ends. It doesn't end. It's just a fucking circus. It's a circus and a bunch of right fighters or a bunch of, I told you, or you're stupid because you can't see through, the fact that he's innocent, and you're stupid because you can't see that there's more at play here and the corruption needs to be exposed and blah, blah, fucking blah. Okay? Like, I get it. I want a fair trial. I want it to be above reproach, because that is what this country stands for. And if that does not happen, these victims pay the ultimate price because of fuck ups by the defense, the prosecution, the investigation. And I don't know, just being there and shaking their hand and and like these poor people, and they're doing it because they want to help others and have to sit up there and sign autographs because your child was murdered. Huh? But they did it because they want to help other people. And then you've got these idiots like True Crime Design and R&M and Yellow Jacket and Unraveling and blah, blah, blah. On the list goes on and on. Lewis and Harvey and God, Greeno. And I mean, it's an endless list of people literally, because they have an agenda. They have an agenda too. Just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to
put it into words, the deplorableness of I don't give a rat's ass if I will never, unless they have been indicted and they are guilty, I will never, ever blame a victim's family for their death or insinuate that they are involved or passive aggressively name Kelsey. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, God, sick. And we all just let it happen, like, oh, right, free speech. Yeah, free speech. But Abby and Libby are literally being, they're like, they've taken a backstage. That's why if you notice my thumbnail, it's them in the back, barely be able to see them. And then you've got Rossi and Baldwin and Allen in the front. And I am not addressing the other side right now. I'm addressing the defense here. Like the issues from the very first press release that they came out with. They're the ones that put, like, that said, Rick, told us that he was out there that day. He fully cooperated, blah, blah, blah. And there's one where they got admonished for that. And then you started having to, well, like, yeah, gag orders, we're going to need them, obviously. And then they found a way around that with the memorandum that was just it worked. The outcome was exactly what they wanted. Everybody forgot about what a Frank's hearing is. Everybody forgot about that they were wanting to suppress the evidence, and they were wanting to make that so that a future jury would not see that. And then they were also able to get everybody distracted onto, this Odin theory. And yes, it was a avenue of investigation in this case. They have many avenues of investigative leads in this case. It's 2017, like, but this one fit an agenda, in my opinion. It fit an agenda. And we want defense attorneys to be the best. And in my opinion, they're just not, like, bye. I think he has a better chance of getting a fair trial with new attorneys. And hopefully they are a little bit more careful. But you got to think, like, everyone's just like, oh, well, they're probably getting threats, and that's why they quit, and la 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 la. But if you read and you read that memorandum and you read the footnotes and you look for words are likely and quite possibly, and all of the other words that are a lot of people miss, it's full of that. And it also that gives them a way to break the gag order, and they did. And they also needed a way to put reasonable doubt on his Richard Allen's own confessions. So that's working out. That worked out, and then everybody was freaking out and going down rabbit holes, and I went down those rabbit holes in 2018 when we were looking into Brad Holder, Steve Rogers, Patrick Westfall, Messer, freaking a ton of them. But to just anyway, it served its purpose. So there's one of their let me try to, I wrote them down on the list. Give me a second. Okay, so their press release, that's number one. Then the Woodhouse, that's quite a mess up there, sending. I understand why they wanted to speak with him. They're doing their due diligence. Him and Snyder, of course. And so sending him the discovery was, irresponsible, and they took responsibility for that too. And then the memorandum, and then you've got the leaked crime scene photos plus, because it wasn't just that that someone snookered him and got in there and took pictures of these leaked crime scene photos. There was way more to it than that. And when you look at all of those things and so I'm picturing, and it's also backed up by the fact that he hired his own lawyer. Let's just read that. Memorandum regarding possible disqualification or sanction. This was filed 4 hours before the 2:00 trial that was, or hearing that was to take place. You guys are gonna have to give me a second. I've got to go get my camera or my computer charger before it dies. All right. Any issues or concerns regarding representation should be focused on the Sixth Amendment and Article 1, Section 13, rights of the accused. Continuity of counsel is critical for adequate representation. Article 1, Section 12 of the Indiana Constitution must always be given consideration. Yeah. Mr. Allen has developed a strong and trusting bond with Mr. Baldwin. Disqualification of either of his court-appointed attorneys would greatly prejudice his right to counsel and a timely trial. The Sixth Amendment guarantees that criminal prosecutions, the accused shall have the assistance of counsel for his defense. The right to counsel of choice has been described as an essential component of the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. The authority to remove appointed counsel is limited and has resulted in reversals in other jurisdictions. And they list a bunch. Quote, a trial court may not remove a defendant's counsel merely over a disagreement regarding the conduct of defense counsel. Accordingly, the trial court improperly removed court-appointed counsel with no authority to do so. This is their arguments of Harling versus United States. Another one. Disqualification of counsel is an extreme remedy to any alleged or perceived violation of a court's order. Most, if not all, cases concerning disqualification of counsel involve conflicts of interest. There is no case allowing disqualification when an individual not part of the attorney's office or staff surreptitiously purloins information from the attorney and disseminates it without permission of the attorney or the attorney's knowledge. Furthermore, any sanction first requires proof of knowing, willful, or intentional conduct, as do the rules of professional conduct. Here, the attorney's trust and office were violated without his knowledge. Rule 1.6 IRPC requires disclosure by an attorney, not someone that purloined information without the attorney's knowledge. Commentary, a lawyer must act competently to safeguard information relating to the representation of a client against inadvertent or unauthorized disclosure by the lawyer or other persons who are participating in the representation of the client or who are subject to the lawyer's supervision. The dissemination did not fit that definition. Attorney Baldwin did nothing wrong. He was snookered and abused, which reversed the conviction because the trial court erroneously disqualified counsel when the accused had waived any perceived conflict. We note at the outset, the defense counsel was disqualified. So this is talking about like a case what they're using to try to bolster their case for him to remain his lawyer. The issue before the court is a horrible tragedy created by persons not related to the defense of Mr. Allen. There were 3 disseminators, one of which committed suicide after law enforcement investigation began. And I think that he didn't need to say that. Come on. He didn't need to put that in there. Like, I don't know. I just, like, it's sad. And I hope the best for that man's family. And, it's very sad that they're, this is going to be a part of the court document. It should be considered that nothing has been disclosed that won't be disclosed at trial or hearings. No, that's not true. the court takes great care, even if televised, that the jury are the ones that see the crime scene photos. The public, the media does not. I've literally been to a murder trial. And now there are situations where there are, but it's usually set up in a way that the jury of the defendant's peers is the one that views that. It should be Mr. Baldwin trusted a friend to respect his office space. He was betrayed. Since that transgression, Mr. Baldwin has kept all Delphi-related items locked in a room and or locked in a fireproof filing cabinet. Furthermore, defense counsel has put together a plan for curative action in which no items will be left unattended for even a second in an unlocked room. When any documents or items from this case is needed for preparing the case, the persons using the documents or items will either lock the door behind them when they leave, even for a lunch break or bathroom break, return the documents or items to the room dedicated to, so now, a year in, this is what they're going to do this is what they've implemented to safeguard all of this information, which, these are good lawyers. They should have been doing this from the beginning, just saying. As Mr. Rosie indicated, there are vast amounts of trial preparation materials, and it would be a setback for the defense have to relocate them. Under these circumstances, Mr. Baldwin has taken sufficient curative action. Should the court believe there should be some sanction, the court could order to 24 hours of representation without compensation. Respectfully submitted, David Hennessy. So this is just his limited appearance. What I take out of that is, okay, so this happens. It's obvious that they're going to fight for their, to maintain just up until 4 hours. So, Russ McQuaid had said like about 12:30, they're in the judge's chambers, and I suspect what went down was the witnesses that were there. They were not there on behalf of like the state, like people keep purporting. They were there because they investigated, ISV investigated this leak. And this wasn't just crime scene photos. If you look at what the conversation that Brandon Woodhouse had with Mark Robert, you can tell that Mark Robert is being given information by the other two in the chain of the leak that is ongoing things in this. It's not just he's getting more information than just going in the office, taking some photos of some crime scene photos that were left out. No, there's specific information that comes out later, like in the court documents, so that you do know that like he was being told things from the defense. So this is a major thing. And then people are like, oh, there's more going on. Their lives were probably threatened and all of this. They deserve. So I'm assuming that they withdrew because in open court, what was going to happen was that likely, in my opinion, the investigation into this leak was going to reveal that what they said, what they wanted their lawyer, his lawyer, Baldwin's lawyer, to say was they were going to be able to discount that. And instead of them facing the music in open court and then probably probably going to get in trouble outside of this, I would be looking for things like that to be happening real soon. But this is just, it's not fair for Abby and Libby. It's not fair for Richard Allen, you know, like to have this recklessness on the flip side. There is no one is law enforcement, prosecution, defense, authorities in general should be above reproach, and they should be above reproach for a reason. And unfortunately, that's just not been the case. And the ultimate victims of that are going to be Abby and Libby. And my guess is that these new lawyers are going to handle things a lot differently. And it probably will go to trial in a few years. And every single thing that the investigative team, each member, they're going to take the stand. They'll be state's witnesses, and then they will be cross-examined. And that's when all of their past corruption will be put forth to discredit them. And that sucks that that's likely going to happen. But there's a lot surrounding the Snyder case, and it's fucking deplorable what happened to that guy. I think it needs an outside investigation, and more needs to be done. The Woodhouse stuff, I think that while at the same time a person can be deserving of being held accountable criminally for their actions, Brandon Woodhouse, and at the same time being abused by what happened to him. He can be a POS, but what happened to him was wrong. And what happened to Snyder was wrong. And Dan Doolin was a huge part of that. I will say that, remember that press release? I'm sure I haven't. We'll just pull it right on up. They put it right on out there. Oh, I have so many open tabs. Did I get rid of it? No, I know where I have it. Oh, geez.
It's long.
My computer is really getting on my nerves lately. I've got to get a new one. This was pretty reckless of them, to be honest. The police did not contact Rick after Libby German and Abby Williams went missing. Rather, Rick contacted the police and voluntarily discussed being on the trail that day. Like many people in Delphi, Rick wanted to help any way he could. Rick contacted the police to let them know that he had walked on the trail that day, as he often did. Without Rick coming forward, the police probably would not have any way of knowing that he was on the trail that day. Rick volunteered to meet with a conservation officer, we know that's Stan Doolin, outside of the local grocery store to offer up details of his trip to the trail on the day in question. Rick tried to assist with the investigation and told the police that he did recall seeing 3 younger girls on the trail that day. His contact with the girls was brief and of little significance. Rick does not recall if this interaction with the conservation officer was tape recorded, but believes that the conservation officer scribbled notes on a notepad as Rick spoke to him. After Rick shared his information with law enforcement officials, he went back to his job at the local CVS and did not hear from the police for more than 5 years, which is... How does that happen? And then there was so anyone that's trying to get you to get on the bandwagon of, yeah, Doolin, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Based on his past incidences. But for YouTubers to make it seem like Richard Allen, like that Dan Doolin, which he did in another case, falsified Richard Allen coming to him, you can tell them just to shut the fork up, because Richard Allen repeatedly has said that he was there. His wife said, and like, I think that, the forest for the trees there with that memorandum, I mean, they were doing their job on that, even though they've been reckless with the case file, the discovery. And then they're, all up McLeland about getting it to him, and you're hiding this from us. And McLeland went, who you ought to call, who you ought to be real pissed at right now is the Carroll County Board, because they should be helping McLeland have, he literally says it, because they're recorded, like, we have things that we have a timeline to get to the defense, and like think motions and responses and discovery. And I don't have enough help, it's me and Shane Evans, and then like the clerk, and like, we need some help. And they're arguing over $5,000, and of like, well, think like it'd be $15,000. But like, so of course, like, they're making everything, there's always a flip side to everything, and you have to be able to look at both sides of the coin. And like, there seems to be this divide of like, if you think that the defense is reckless, they've acted reckless, and you are taking the side of the corruption in Carroll County and within all the multifaceted organizations within the state of Indiana. And now you're going to have to assume the Judge Gull's in on it too. Stop it. Just stop. Like, I can't. Oh, I can't. They screwed up. The defense screwed up. And I think the judge let them, like, they were going to go in there, and the investigation was going to prove that they, like what you said in your memorandum that I just read earlier, not actually the truth. Like, this is what's going to come out if you go in here. And they got to withdraw. I'm going to be very interested to read Rossi's oral motion to withdraw. No, that was Baldwin did the oral motion, and Rossi is going to have a written motion to withdraw. That will be interesting to read. And and people are making a big fuss about how Baldwin said, my client isn't, Richard Allen is innocent. And a lot of people are, fighting for him. And in a way, I do understand that if he is in fact being mistreated. But look, if you look at what is being filed, like, and then the first, they wanted it moved, and the judge said, no, like, that's not going to happen. And then they amped it up, and they do this big old memorandum, 136 memorandum that was really not about what it should have been about. Frank's hearings are not written like that. And then he actually followed that up, but with an amended memorandum. But basically, they're saying that Liggett lied, like that he intentionally, with forethought and like malice, lied in the search warrant affidavit. Well, good Lord, what did you just do? Didn't you just kind of use those same words that with the intent, and then you just, were bamboozled or whatever, we're snookered, like, so there's always another side to things. Like, there's always a different thing. But what sucks is that all of this circus could lead to no justice for Abby and Libby and their families. Get it together. There are characters in law enforcement and the investigative party, and it's unfortunate, because when they take the stand, a good defense attorney and doing their due diligence, which we want that, because if this does go to trial, as soon as, if he is found guilty, as soon as the judge sentenced him, a motion for the first appeal happens right then. Right then. So, so you say, like, that's where it's really going to matter, is holding up against the Supreme Court and like the Board of Appeals. You have to be above reproach. And they haven't been. They haven't been. But again, like McLeland said, they have to prove intent. And my guess is that Liggett is an arrogant asshole. And he probably thought like he had everything memorized in his affidavit. And I don't think that he intentionally like lied. I just don't. I want to hope that that is not the case. Because I don't think that the defense, the former defense, would be fighting so damn hard to get the search warrant thrown out. Because you got to think, like, they've tried the 2 times of like, well, it wasn't specific enough, which happens a lot. That's why sometimes they will get a catch-all type search warrant. And then when they go in, they will specify, or like say someone gives them permission to search without a search warrant, search whatever. But if they find something, they secure the scene, and then they go ahead and get that search warrant so that they are above reproach, and that what they found through the consent to search is now there's a paper trail of that. And so it is my belief that Rossi and Baldwin and the next ones that come along, they already have asked, requested, and been granted for the judge the allotted amount of money to hire their own experts. Those are going to be ballistic experts, okay? And then the way they word things in that memorandum kind of makes you think, oh, well, they're just going to, it's just about the gun and the ballistics and this unspent bullet. But if Kathy Allen's own words, he still has those clothes, he has knives, he has, the blue jacket and the boots and then the car and like, I think that what came back from the lab on that, because while they may purport that there's no DNA at the scene, there's he may not have his DNA, they may not be at the scene, but what we don't know is what they found in that search. And those attorneys know, I'm pretty sure I still have it pulled up. Give me just a second to look for this. Is this the... Yeah, okay. Here is a prime example. This is from the Allen County clerk. It's not a discovery, but it's an example of like, here's a bunch of documents that are like They're not in any kind of order. Like, so them, saying, oh, well, they are trying to hide stuff in this mountain of discovery and all these different files. Well, look right here. This is the Allen County clerk. Like, this is a mess. Like, how can you find anything on this? They all literally say the same thing. And so until you go through and recategorize them, you can't find anything. It's light up at the top. Nope. Nope. Well, I'm looking for this though. I found it very odd that they're arguing so emergency. He's gonna, oh, here it is. He's gonna die, like we got to get him out of there. And then when the state subpoenas Westville to inquire about these filings from the defense, what did they turn around and do? They motioned to quash that. Quash means like, don't give them the those things. Does that make sense to anyone else? Like, but like, you're literally saying that he's in dire straits. He's being mistreated and like all of this stuff. But when the state wants to like find out about that and do their due diligence on it, they're like, no, don't let them. That like, what? So are you being sincere in this emergency, or are you just trying to get public uproar? Okay, so this is the Indianapolis Regional Laboratory. J. Harper. The cartridge in item 016 was identified as having been cycled in the firearm in item 314 from Indiana State Police Laboratory case number remarks. Identification. An identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and a sufficient agreement of individual marks. Sufficient agreement is related to the significant duplication of random striated impressed marks as evidence from the correspondence of a pattern or combination of patterns on surface contours. The interpretation of identification is subject in nature and based on relevant scientific research and the reporting examiner's training and expertise. Methodology used to reach results, opinions, interpretations, microscopic comparison. There's another one. Hopefully it's just the next one. That'd be great. What? Okay. So probably should have read this one first, but they're so disorganized. So what they received: sealed cardboard box containing 1.6 Sawyer, model P226, 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, with a serial number, sealed manila envelope containing test fired and cycled ammunition from the firearm. Not relevant. Sealed manila envelope containing test fired and cycled ammunition from the firearm. Still not relevant. Sealed manila envelope containing test fired and cycled ammunition from. So the fired it was cycled. It was an unspent bullet. Containing 1 cartridge. So basically his magazines. Containing 1 magazine containing 8 cartridges and another magazine containing 9 cartridges. The firearm in item 314 was examined for functional defects and test fired. No functional defects were found. Examination of the cartridge in item 315 revealed it to be a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson caliber cartridge manufactured by or marketed as Winchester. Examination of the cartridge in the item 316 revealed it to be a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson caliber cartridge manufactured by or marketed as Blazer. So let's see, all of these are just you know, the details. Let's go to the remarks. Identification. An identification opinion is reached with the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and sufficient agreement of individual marks, which we already read in the other one. Sufficient agreement is related to the significant. What is that? No, it's just an ant. Marks are evident by the correspondence of a pattern or combination of patterns on surface contour. And I'm not discounting ballistics and like this, but this is also something that, I'm sorry, like if I was on the jury and I heard the state's expert and the defense's expert on this particular piece of evidence, that I am not going to find someone guilty of murder over an unspent bullet. That that's just like, that's not reasonable. Now the totality of things can also would play into my personal decision, but taking out emotionality and going on, is this sufficient to convict on ballistics? No. And you know who knows that? Those defense attorneys. So that's why I think that they uncovered something else during that search warrant that the defense wants thrown out so badly. They want it thrown out so badly. And it was that memorandum was like an oxymoron of like, it was like dumbly brilliant. You know, it was written in a way that you just don't see court documents and defense attorneys filing things like written like that, like it was written to be provocative, you know, to grab you emotionally. And the first time I read it, it did. And then I read it again, and then I read it again, and then I paid attention to the footnotes and the wording used. Words are important. Likely, we think it's logical to think. You know, when they're throwing in those little words, they can be overlooked because we're so emotional about what is being said. But in all of those 136, what was it really? Like, I mean, they're doing their job, even though they were under a gag order. And I think it was irresponsible to name all of these people and accuse them of murder. Like, what? In a public document like that. And I think that they saw, well, we want to get that search warrant thrown out. And I'm sorry, they know better. They wouldn't do all that for this bullet. I'm telling you, they found something else, I hope. And they also needed to discredit their own client's confessions. Like, so what better way to do that than to blame the Odins and that he's being coerced into you know, confessing. So there you go. Like, I don't know. But yeah, sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I just wanted to really tell you guys that about the victims and at remembering them, and that they're the ones that are paying the price for all of this and will continue to pay the price. And I hope to God above that they do not pay the ultimate price. The families do not pay the ultimate price of seeing this Richard Allen or anyone else not held accountable and the case properly adjudicated because of the circus and the it's sad. Hey CJK. Hey Shelly. Mel, did you go on the I did not. I had heard that Greeno was flying home today or yesterday. And so I decided not to go. I wanted to go because I wanted to meet Kristen and hang out with Deb and my good friend Hoosier Cold Cases and meet Frank and meet Randy and be a part of that and honor, you know, Abby and Libby and remember them. But Greeno is, he doesn't have boundaries. He doesn't have, he doesn't care about Abby and Libby. And he would, like, you know, just go read the short. One day you're going to see me, you know, and basically his threat to violence against me. But I'm not scared of him. But I would be horrified if, say, Miss Becky or Miss Anna or Kelsey or Cody or any of their loved ones were there, and Anthony Greeno comes to confront me, which is his personality. He's done it. He's done it to my friends. He did it to Chaotic Beauty. He did it to Hoosier Cold Cases, and she walked away. And Hoosier Cold Cases had to basically fake it, because guess what? They're good people, and they realize that this isn't about us. And these are parents and and sisters and brothers that literally their children have died. This is not about me. This is not about Greeno, but he doesn't care about the girls. So he would confront me, and I just simply would not. I will not do that to the families. That's disgusting. They have lost, in my opinion, you know, when you lose a child, there is no greater law. There isn't anything worse that can happen to you in this life. And to have to see that, or that would even be a thing as something that is meant to honor them. No, I am not going to allow him to goad me. And I do know myself. I know myself really well, and I know my temper. And I know that I am unsure if in the moment, if I would be able to respect the event. So I didn't go because I'm not taking that chance, you know? I'm not taking that chance that I could do that to them because I lost my temper because of him, you know? Because he is you've seen him do it. I've seen him do it to many of people. He's that kid on the playground that like, he's this close to you, you know, I'm not touching you. Can't do anything because I'm not touching you. But they're like an inch away. He's that guy, you know. And I don't deal well with those guys. I would just take that camera and slam it right into his nose, you know, like, and I know my temper. So like, if he tried to confront me or threaten my life or my safety, you know, he is, in my opinion, he is a very scary person. And it's you know, something that I feel one day down the road, all of the work that I have done in regards to Anthony Greeno of True Crime Investigates, people are going to come back here, you know, and it is preventative real crime coverage. And I hope that one person is, you know, saved from the likes of him. But the pattern is indicative of, you know, so he is someone that I do fear, you know, and I'm just not going to disrespect the families and the Abby and Libby by going, you know, like I'm not like who like who cares if I'm there really? Like, I mean, it's not make or break anything. I would have loved to go though, you know, and that's unfortunate, but it is the price that I have to pay for calling him out and telling the truth about him, if that makes sense. Hey, Lake. Hey, Ruckus. Oh, Ruckus, I just watched your interview with Drew Collins. You know, that's what it's all about. Of like, that's what it's all about. And you know what sucks is when I just started on with the podcast. The first episode of every new case is getting to know Shannon Polk, getting to know Nicole Bowen, getting to know Ray Hainish, getting to know the victim. It disgusts me that those have the lowest views. And it makes me feel really bad for Cheryl, Haley, Drew, poor Amber, Larry, you know, their children were their whole life, you know, and that you can't even get supposed true crime community to watch. You know, it sucks. Hey, Cher. Hey, Shelly. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Ray. Hey, CCD. Hey, Diamond Eyes. Good to see you here. Hey, Amy. Carol. Love you. OG Do Dirty, hello. Dustin, hello. Jerry Rocks, hey dude. Burn After Reading, hello, sir. I'm hoping the jury will see past the smoke and mirrors. One thing the defense cannot say is that law enforcement has tunnel vision. That's a very good point, dude. Please go check out his channel. He's brilliant. Hey, Cindy. Yeah. It's funny how law enforcement is fishy, prosecutor is fishy, prison is fishy, guards are fishy, and the judge is fishy. Come on, they are all corrupt. Police. Yeah. Hey, True Crime Lacrina. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to email you. Let me know. If you want to do it like later on tonight, I'm game. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Mother of Dragons. Oh, thank you. You too. You always have good comments everywhere I see you commenting. Yeah, exactly. There's a right way to do things, you know? And like if you really do feel like that your client is being you know, there's a right way to do stuff. And they just simply didn't do that. So bye. Like we want a good defense team. Trust me. Ain't no fear. I'm also in the scam baiting community trying to suppress scammers calls mules to many rob from them. I don't know. Hey, Purple Puddles. How are you? Hey, Digger Dave. You guys, you need to go and check out his channel. I'm going to grab it for you. And I'm going to grab Burn. Oh, my computer is so slow. Let's Digger Dave. Burn after reading. Lighting the way home for the vanished. She does such a good job, you guys. What do you guys think? Anyone want to call in? Anyone want to talk about it? Hey, Lisa. Share. CJK. Oh, thank you, Ruckus. Grab a couple more. Good people. Good people. Follow good people. And I'm sure all of you guys are already subscribed to Gray He's Investigates, who has actually been here since the beginning of this case, unlike anyone else. And like Murder She just freaking coming in and act like, how in the hell did those two get to be some kind of a voice for Delphi? Like, I can't. I literally cannot. I can't. And then, like, they're just like, they're shady. They're shady. Like, go do something else. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. And like, I didn't even listen to their, reveal of like how, they uncovered the leak and then the media is like going along with it. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're actually investigative journalists. Ugh. I will say that the Prosecutors podcast had them on, and I didn't really care about anything that them two had to say, but Alice and Brett are on it. Like everything that they said, like, go watch this episode. Just like go watch this episode. And I wish that Murder She wasn't even on it, but just listen to what Alice says. Did that work? Is that a link you guys can click on? The one I just put on there that says like YouTube watch. Oh, good. Thank you, Whitey. Who's your cold cases? Chaotic Beauty. Deb. Frank Meister. Old big guy. He's really grown on me. And my man, Sleuth Intuition. Hey, Otto. That's Sleuth. Sleuth's been doing these morning shows, and he's been bringing attention to, I've heard people like, oh, he just goes to Hellfire every day. Da, da, da. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's been doing these true crime combos in the morning, and he's been covering a lot of cases, and some of them I've never heard of, and they've got me really interested, and like I need to reach out to him and talk to him about, maybe doing a collab or something of just like really deep diving and researching some of the cases that he's been covering, because that's what I like to do, is like deep dive timelines, gathering documents, all that kind of thing. But he's doing more, so I guess there was like some kind of local crime con. Oh, Lynn had a question. Hey, Lynn. Can you answer a question? Please explain why people are saying that they have not found anything to tie RA to the crime scene in a sworn affidavit. Well, Richard Allen ties himself to the crime scene. He ties himself to the crime scene area, because the crime scene is actually at the point of origin is the bridge. And he passes someone that sees him as, so he's heading to the south end of the bridge. He's not there yet. He's on the trail. Abby and Libby are coming, but there's also someone else that sees them, and then they come, he places himself at the point of their kidnapping, and then as far as the crime scene, I'm gonna stand by my statements on this unspent bullet. I hope they have more, and I hope that that is saved. I hope that none of us hear about it, which we shouldn't. And that's why it gets irritating when people are like, no, they don't have a case. And if you read the probable cause affidavit, it's so weak. And yeah, I agree. I am not going to convict someone on eyewitnesses and an unspent bullet. So they better have more. But the thing is that they do not have to. Yes, some like the Rex Heuermann, for instance, that was actually a bond release, like what we saw. In other cases, the affidavits are worded and they're very strong, but they do not have to like include every, like they can be, they need to be enough that a reasonable judge would but this is an ongoing investigation too. And the thing is with this happens all the time. So They come in for an interview. She makes her statements. He makes his. He again, says, yeah, I was there. Da, 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 da. She said, his wife says, yes, he has, those clothes and he has those shoes and the car and and things. And they get a search warrant, like a generic search warrant. They go in and shoot, I lost my point. It ran away. Okay. Oh, I remember it. So I think that this is what happens a lot, is like, we do not want to give him the opportunity to destroy evidence, because now he knows we need this search warrant, and then the search warrant being, what's the word? Blanketed, and then later, like, specified. But I think that, that's totally reasonable that they would think, like, oh, here, we just interviewed them. And they literally, like, got the search warrant. They're en route home, because it is logical to assume, and a logical judge would assume, that they're on notice now, and he could go home and destroy the evidence that we could find in this search warrant to indict him on murder. Indiana is weird with murder. He is charged with murder, intentional killing of another human being, knowingly or intentionally killing another human being while committing the act of, has a list, but kidnapping. What McLeland has said is that there could be other actors. He hasn't said that there's another accomplice, just that the investigation is not over. I don't know. I have trouble, like, the timing of it all. There's a lot, but there's so much we don't know, guys. There's so much we don't know, and we shouldn't, Hey, Frosty. It has been a crazy week. He's another guy that I've really grown to be fond of. Even though I liked his old channel name better. Any more questions? Yeah, I know, Cindy. And you are always there to, like, call them out. And I appreciate you. I don't know if enough people realize that all what Cindy Lynn does. She is awesome. And so is lighting the way, of just shining a light on, like, her. She had a live the other day about grief and just, like, different topics, that affect the victims in the true crime community, and more on a broader scale. And she does such a good job. All right. Any last questions before I head out? Hey, Kate Peace Mule. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Mayo. Have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
Can't say that I have. Thinking of why you're saying that though. I did watch this like awesome. I don't even know if it was a while ago, but it was a documentary on like the different prisons of the world, or like the one in Russia was like terrifying. The one in Turkey was terrifying. The one in Mexico was terrifying. The one in the United States was like, in comparison to some of the other prisons, it is literally like a posh motel, like it is. It, yeah. Are you on vacation? Me? No, I wish. Mel, you are on spot on about the case. Well, thank you. Brandy, tall one, HCC, short one, Frank, the broken one. HCC's pretty tall though. So it must mean Brandy is really tall. Yeah. um, I bet it's rancid. Yeah, I bet Diamond Eyes. I didn't look, but what is the name on Nakota? What is the news on Nakota? I have emailed. I think a few other people have, everybody's been just too busy with the chaos, the circus over with the Delphi case. And then a lot of, breaking, like things have been breaking, like Rex Heuermann. I love his outfits, the attorney for Shannon Gilbert. There's new affidavits in that case. There's Jordan Vandersloot, even though he's not going to be held judicially, he did admit to what he did. So that's big news for Natalie Holloway. I heard that, was it Haley Cummings that was missing from Muncie, Indiana, was found alive, like safe. Yeah, I see that. Jesse Snyder. Yeah, I don't trust him either. I don't trust him one single lick. All I'm saying is that regardless of his character, Richard Allen has repeatedly said that he was there and he talked to him and he did, his lawyers are saying, so it's like, regardless of how we feel about Dan Doolin, because trust me, I think he's a real POS. Like, I don't like Liggett. I don't like him at all. I don't like a lot of them. I don't think that, I wish we had better. I do like Holman and Doug Carter. I don't know. Anyone that can honestly be friends with like Julie Melvin, I gotta kind of wonder about their character, because she is a real POS, and in my opinion. I don't know, that's controversial and everybody thinks she knows everything, and I've seen that cabin. I have pictures of that cabin. Like, she doesn't have anything special. Like, she is not. She is, what she does do is repeatedly, sadistically goes after the baddies, and it's disturbing. And I can't stand her. Never have, never will. She's terrible. She's a terrible person. Oh, but
when you listen to her talk, I am an upstanding citizen. I have been really affected by this. My mental health. I am a good person. I am a tax-paying person. I am a good person. You know what good people don't have to go around telling people that they're good people. There's your sign. There's your sign. Like when you got to go around and talk about how good you are and you're an upstanding, law-abiding citizen, you're probably not, because like genuinely good people don't go around saying stuff like that. It's weird. It's weird. And she's the one, she literally said on a live that Miss Becky is obsessed with her. Oh God. I haven't heard Miss Becky like talk about her as much, but Julie sure does. She'll go on any live that she's on. I guarantee you she's going to manipulatively sneak it in there where she gets to talk about, putting down the patties or throwing shade on the patties. She does it every single time, and she brings up how she was kicked out of this or asked to leave that. Like, yeah, I would too. I would too. And and you've got these like her and Greeno, Greeno keeps saying, well, this affects me more because my child is related to them. Oh, sir. Are you talking about this child that you have refused to pay child support for and refused to even barely acknowledge his existence? The one that you brag about not wanting, you piece of shit. Like, and to use that little boy yet again for your own gain, you sick fuck. By the way, he's not paid child support. He's not paid. He doesn't pay. Like, so guess who? And I saw him on Zab Girl trying to spin it, to where Carroll County's going to try to get him back here so they can kill him, because of the corruption and blah, blah, blah. But no, what it actually is, what did I put that under? What was it? It should be like right in these recents. So yeah, let him know he's got a hearing in November. And once they can find him, the hobosexual can never be found, but once they find him and they can deliver it. Okay, so this is in 2020 filed that on June 2nd, 2020, Marie Clausen with the Carroll County IV-D office was reviewing money owed by non-custodial parents in paternity cases. Marie is in charge of calculating the money owed by non-custodial parents for the child support matters in Carroll County. That she discovered that there was a paternity action filed in Carroll County Circuit Court under in regard to the matter of paternity of blank under cause number on July 28th of 2016, that the action was filed by blank, the mother of blank, who was born in 2016, that Anthony Greeno was determined to be the father of blank through paternity test, that to date, Anthony has never paid any child support for the benefit of blank or the custodial parent as part of his child support obligation. That he has filed to pay support now is that he has failed to pay support now is in errors in the amount of $17,836. The child is still in the care and custody of blank. The child is also still a minor and is not emancipated. 2020. So 2023. What's that one under? I think it's under. Yeah, I gotta stop sharing my. Maybe not. No, he's definitely not an attorney. I'm surprised he hasn't claimed to be an attorney yet. No, I did it. I did it backwards. What am I doing? What? I don't know if it's on here yet, though. Still owes that $2,430 for his extradition. He owes the court so much money, and I don't know why they don't make him pay it. No. All right. I can't share my screen for this one because it would show the child's name. So, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sheesh. Okay, so on September 19th of 2023, motion for rule to show cause filed by the Child Support Division. No, come on, don't even try it. That it's corrupt and they're after him too. Like all of these people that like, to me, the nonsense that's going on is like the same nonsense that goes on with the hired actors that like, remember the freaking disaster and just horribleness of what was it? The Sandy Hook, saying that they were like paid actors and that those kids really didn't die and like all that stuff. Like that's what you're being asked to like believe in this Delphi case with this corruption. I mean, where does it, I get it that there's corruption in but like when you're like venturing out into like all of these different people are involved in it. Come on. You can't get 3 people to agree on hardly anything anymore. Okay, so they are wanting a rule to show causes. Why haven't you paid your child support yet again? But guess what? He's been token away in, wearing his night from head to toe, you know, probably bought by his girlfriend, living in a motel, like out in DC or Washington, which is expensive as hell. And like, but so, you know, why don't you use the money that you smoke with and pay your damn child support? Like, I don't know how anyone can be supportive of someone that doesn't take care of their own children. And like, remember before he left again, you know, he's like, my kids are living with me. So you just abandon them again. But you want to use your abandonment issues against everybody else to get them to manipulate them. But you're doing the same thing, motherfucker. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, I'm hungry. Okay, so September 19th, same day, they sent Anthony Greeno certified mail for his Rule 2 show cause, which was originally scheduled for October 26th at 9 a.m. Service return not served. Shocker. Tippecanoe County unable to serve respondent. They can't find him again. This literally like over and over and over. This is just one of his kids too. So yeah, we got another service return not served. Anthony Greeno return to sender, attempt not known, unable to forward. That happened on October 4th. So there was a motion for continuance because they can't find him and they have to find him. They have to serve him so that he's aware of the date. And then if he doesn't show up, he'll be in contempt of court and there will be a bench warrant out for him. So child support, motions to continue, that order is granted. The new hearing is on November 30th of 2023 at 9 a.m. If they can find him. So it doesn't have anything to do with some conspiracy. No one's going to, you know, like, don't let him fool you that, because what he's going to have to say is that the child support are now the corrupt ones that are wanting to kill them. The child support division. Like, come on. So ridiculous. So yeah, that is that. So, but they have to find him in order to serve him, certified mail or whatever. And then, you know, if is he going to show up? Probably not. Like he said, he don't care about the law. He don't care about it. And then he will have another warrant out for him and land himself another W. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. Hey, Freckled. Arresting each other's family members. Where's that wallpaper? This one over here. It's a tapestry. But I am working on a painting in the kitchen. I have to take a break from it because it's like I can't do this anymore. To replace that thing back there. I don't like it. No doubt Shady Peeps and Carol. Yeah. Yep, she's nasty. Maybe the inmates will get info out of the slime ball. Whether it was is it about his child support? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they definitely can. Grody. Yes, yes, you are totally right. The defense star is Bob Mata and his wife, like she's really good too. She's an attorney as well. And yeah, they're awesome. The mountain sees everything. Ooh, cool picture and name. Hi to you too. Right? Yeah, they're two birds of a feather, right? Yeah. Steaming turd just laying the way. Yeah, he probably will. It seems to be a yearly or bi-yearly thing. Yeah, there's a lot of weird ones out there now. And Randall has an entire side of her family with the last name Odin. Doesn't mean anything, but it is weird synchronicity. Yeah, that is weird. Uncle Fatty, much love, y'all, truth seekers. From CDA, Idaho, our local sheriff with an arrow tat on his forearm is being charged with petty theft for stealing a gay book from the public library. I'm gonna look that up. I hope I find it. I needed that. I don't even care if you just made it up. That's awesome. That's great. Oh. Yeah, he loves it. It's a break. It's a vacation for him, he says. Hey, Miranda. Yeah, these. You guys ever have these? Like a little sun. What are they called? Sun sweet commercial. Um, dried mangoes. Phenomenal. Mangoes. A gang of Odins, a huge meth ring. All those people out there, yet no one else saw them. Yeah. Oh, funny. I love donuts. They're so good. Hey, Polly. Yeah, me too. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. Kootenai County, I don't know how to say it. 2 hours north of Moscow, Sheriff Krim 2 News has a 30-second vid from 2 weeks ago. He has failed to release body cam under many FOIA requests. All the badges up here are tattooed. I can't. Yeah, right. Oh, tonight? What time is it? Yeah, send me a link. So everybody, let me grab True Crime Recliner. If you would like to see me on there doing forensic art challenge with him, we always have fun doing that. So head over there. It might be a little, I might be a little bit late, but go ahead and get started and like do your little intros and like whatever, and then I'll be on. But send me in my email. I don't know who that is. Yeah, she should. Very sad. Emily Ann. Yeah. Yeah. I know that Kate Piecemeal has really been trying to advocate for her. It's just a very delicate situation. It's another abused ex of Reno's. A lot of the people in the groups, they know about this one. Please do. Yes. Yes, definitely. And I know she really needs it and feel so bad for her, It's awful. And she tried. Yeah, come on, people. Head over there. I dropped the link. So I will see you all over there in a few. Thanks for listening to me.